Okay. And there we are. A little early, little tiny bit early. My hands are so cold. And I got something in my eye, figures. Okay, let's see who's here tonight. My first time back in a while, and it's gonna be it's gonna be a challenge if any of you saw the test run this afternoon. That was an utter failure. It was just a hot mess this afternoon. So wait for just flip to 8 o'clock. We'll see who shows up. Bound to be some people. Hi, Linda. And what do I want to do here? I need to. Oh, good. Okay, the video is being monetized because I apparently screwed up on that. And somehow didn't have something monetized, and of course then for some crazy reason it got like an insane amount of views. Like my 16-second thing about sorry I missed Thursday, the quick health update, for some unknown reason that had 1,000 views, and that sucker was not monetized until today. I was like, really? Because you don't get a payout from YouTube until they have $100 banked to pay you. And I'm way far away from that. I look cozy, but I'm kind of not. I tried real hard to take like an hour's nap, so the fatigue wouldn't nail me, and to warm up because we're having issues to get LIHEAP because their system is just ridiculous. If you don't put down that you have a mortgage payment, their automated system doesn't know what to do with it. So it kicked me out and wouldn't let me, well, it didn't kick me out. It let me put the application in, but it got denied because I didn't prove with a letter from the landlord that I am responsible for the heating and cooling of the building. No human being that I know of ever reviewed this thing, and you call for help and it's all automated. Nothing gets you to a real person. I tried for 2 solid weeks every day. And so it's in appeals now. And appeals said the same thing. We need a letter from your landlord. I'm like, there isn't one. What part of I own my own home did you not comprehend? So yeah, so it's a little nippy here because we're gonna have some 13, in the teen nights coming up, and it is an old house. Even with most of the windows being replaced, it's still cold. So it's only like 61 degrees in the house right now. And I had my gloves. I had my fingerless gloves. I was wearing them most of the day. Went upstairs because the plumbing here is a whole other issue. But Mike had to go to the basement to turn the hot water on so we could have hot showers. So I had the gloves on until that point because I have these wonderful fingerless gloves that one of you viewers, two of you viewers actually very kindly sent me gloves last year when I had no heat. And but they were fingerless, so I could still work. And now I don't know where I put them. So they must still be upstairs in his room. So, but my knee is going, nah, you're not going back up there. I had enough of a challenge getting Morgan Le Fay back in her room. I was just about asleep and I hear a cat fight. Because little Miss Murder Mittens wants to get up close to the doctor. Doctor's never really been near a kitten nor a female cat. And when I rescued the doctor and her two brothers would sleep curled up together, but they wouldn't let her join them. She was the runt of the litter. You'd never know that now looking at her. So the doctor doesn't get it that sometimes, you know, cats curl up together. It's not a thing to her. And she's also very iffy about other female cats. So I heard him. Morgan will find the doctor. The doctor will hide, and then it's like a little kid playing hide and seek with mom. She will search this house. I have found that kitten from 3rd floor to 1st floor looking for the doctor. And they have had 2 big fights. I now have a bent curtain rod over there because they had a fight on the windowsill and pulled the curtain down enough that it bent the rod. Why did they have to do it on one of the 2 wide, super wide windows of the house where I have to pay extra for an extra wide curtain rod? It's Murphy's Law, you know. After last year, a bent curtain rod, I'm not going to sweat it. Right? Don't we all have a whole new perspective after the last 2 years? Where we see something little like that, which before might have gone, oh man, now I got to go to the store. I got to find one that's got the extra wide. Now it's like, you know what? Nah. After going from the end of May to, God, when did the first nerve in my back finally let loose? Went from the end of May screaming with every time I moved. And that's literal, not figurative. Literal. Scares the neighbors really well. But it didn't let loose until end of September. And the second pinched nerve never let loose. So, yeah. Yeah. It puts it all in perspective that, you know, just a little thing like a bent curtain rod, I don't care. Oh my goodness. Okay, which cat is that? Shadow, go to bed. Oh, good Lord. Shadow's back. Shadow is still outside. I can't bring him in. I only have one room to isolate them. And you have to isolate them a little bit. Otherwise, you know, there's going to be even worse fights than we've had. And I can't have him in the same room with his daughter because she's not fixed yet. And he's not fixed. So I'm going to try calling, because I don't have enough to get them fixed. And now the doctor has a sore spot and a lump on her side. So I think this year is going to be the year of take care of animals. But we're not here for all that little update. How am I feeling? I'm a little tender because, you know, with the kitten and them fighting, there are times I have to swoop in, bend down, and grab her. And the hard part is she's figured out very quickly that if I try to grab her and she goes flat to the floor, there are times where my back just goes no, and I have let her go. So now she thinks that's what she should do. And I was not having it today. You're not getting in the way when I'm trying to cook. You're not going to get in the way when I'm trying to, you know, feed the outdoor cat. She tried to get outside to go see her dad, and it's like, no, Morgan, no. I'm a little sore, and I didn't really get a chance to lay flat and rest my spine. So, but other than that, things are good. I'm breathing. I'm upright. I don't look as pale as my little comfy, cozy, fuzzy thing. This thing is kind of warm. I mean, you see all the fuzzy. The problem is the fuzzy. The fuzzy leaves fuzzy everywhere. But it is warm. Kinesic tape on the spine. I wonder if that would work. I do know that I wish I still had a corset. Corset would work great. Because if I sit up and keep my spine straight, then all of a sudden there's no pressure. But we're not used to that. We're not used to having that perfect posture anymore. And the one that's out of place for me where it was pinching both nerves is below the small of your back by about 2 inches below it. So it's right before the tailbone. And so if you sit up perfectly straight, like if I do this, great. But then my back gets so tired because my back is not going to be doing that on its own all day long. Oh, and then there's those moments where you move the wrong way. So it's a challenge. I see Val. I haven't seen Val before. And I see Marilyn. And see, Fiona was here. We don't have too many here. It's my own. It's kind of my own fault because being the different time slot, dropped my viewers because my night owls usually are all in the evening, and then I was sick for so long. So I've gotten over the flu. I had a really, really bad case of it in my area. They've now announced as of today that the local hospitals are at full capacity. And it's not just for the one you think of, it's because the flu in this area, the particular one, is very potent strain of flu. And the only reason they let me home is because they didn't have a place for me. I know what to look for after years of having to monitor my mother's breathing for congestive heart failure and issues like that, and the numerous times I've had pneumonia, and because Crozier Hospital is that way. If we throw me in a car, we are at their ER door, literally from my front door to their ER door in less than 5 minutes. Faster than we could if we called the ambulance. So they let me come home for that reason. So, but I managed to kick that, but I somewhere along the way picked up, and I suspect I picked it up from my brother because he's fighting it. He's got a bacterial infection in his lungs. And so in the weakened immune system from the flu, I ended up with it. And boy, did that take a bit to kick. So it has been a while since everybody's seen me. Now, another reason the hood is up, look what I did to the hair. So I decided because the roots were coming in, I needed a darker color on the roots because the pink just wasn't covering the roots. So there's purple. My Boy Scouts have not seen it. I was just so fatigued yesterday, and Mike never woke me up for Scouts. He just let me sleep. And I don't know if he went to Scouts. I honestly don't know if he went to Scouts or not. I have hardly seen him today. So, but I'm back. I'm doing better and having fun playing with the hair. The purple is leftover dye from him. Company called Splat, and they just make these wild colors, but it's temporary, you know, a couple of washes, but ours last longer because he went and got some shampoo that's specifically for hair dye with semi-permanent dye so that it helps keep it last a little longer. And, you know, the great Doctor Who quote is, what's the point of being an adult if you can't be childish sometimes? I grew up in the 80s with the punk rock and the dyed hair and all that, and never was, not only was I never, ever going to have a mother that would have allowed it, but I never had the nerve. So why can't I have some fun now and, you know, hide the white that's coming in and play with it? It's only hair, it grows back, you know? So, for tonight, we have a couple little things. I don't know if this is going to, I don't think this will take a full 2 hours, but first I want to say thank you so much to Joanne, who's Precious Lavender Buttons, because she bought something from Pat Doodles, and it is this really cool Fairies book. It has a kit. Now, this is sticking out of it. I haven't taken this part apart, but I suspect that that part has been used because I don't think, I can only see one bead for a head, but in a house that was overstuffed also with craft stuff, I'm pretty sure I can find enough stuff to make these. Wait till you see how cute these are. So, oh, come on, open up. They tell you you need like needle nose pliers, you need wooden beads. I got them. And wire, I've got that. And you make these really cool fairies. Now, the hair, they use embroidery floss. Can I tell you, I have embroidery floss in colors that they don't even make anymore because it's from, you know, like 1930. The little bug one, she cracks me up because she looks like one of those little, reminds me of the soot creatures from one of the Studio Ghiblis. But check out the hair on this one. Now there's a pompadour. How much Aquanet would that have taken? How much Aquanet would that have taken if you had to do that in real life? Remember those days? Where's the one? Now, I have been saving stuff to be wings for little fairy dolls for years, so I know I've got that, and I've got plenty of little stuff to make their dresses. But I really like hers. Kind of has that, you know, that 60s mod look to it, and it's just, they just painted these different size beads. But I thought that was pretty cool looking. So once I get the office, look, it's been so long. The Black Hole Challenge room, once I get that sorted out to actually be in office, I'll have somewhere to actually make stuff. I'll have somewhere to do the selling from. I will have shelves. Mike and I actually did a look at the hair, tickling my ear, driving me nuts. We actually went through the basement eyeing up what shelves are down there because I'm not finding old school kind of shelves. Everywhere you are looking at shelves these days, they are about 18 inches deep and they only have 4 shelves on them, but they're 7 foot high. Well, okay, the 7 foot high in a room with 8.5 foot ceilings I can deal with. I have a step stool from the 50s and I know how to use it. But the only having 4 shelves part is just stupidly annoying to me. So I was thinking more like, you know, the old school metal bookshelves that you could get the extra shelves and, you know, and have them closer together, but you can't find them. So I'm going to rearrange the ones in my basement. Stuff's all got to be clean and purged anyway. And there's 2 of them down there that with a good scrubbing and some Rust-Oleum spray paint will get me at least started on shelves in there. For next week, I don't know what I'm going to have for sale, but I might throw this in. I found this applique thing. It's missing 1 cow. I just got it out of the wash before I came up, and I was like, I don't want to lose this. So, but next week will be a sale. And hi, Trisha. I'll be on Trisha's sale in a week. What, a week? Not quite a week and a half. On the 29th? Whatever that last Saturday is, I will be on Trisha's sale. And oh, and there is somebody I know. Her channel is called Flippin' Crazy, and Lisa has been doing a bunch of sales. Lisa has had a really bad health scare with one of her cats, and so she's really been kicking into high gear. She's also, I think, still has to move in just a handful of months, so she's really clearing house. So if you like picking up odd bits of jewelry to repurpose, or she's got everything you could imagine. She's got odd bits of jewelry, vintage jewelry. Then she'll also have jewelry sales. Then she's got craft things coming up, and then she's got stuff she's made. And then she's also had craft books. But by all means, check out Flippin' Crazy sometime. And it's Flippin. I don't know if I can put it in if I could put a link in. Maybe I can. Here we go. She's having a sale right now. Wait, I gotta get the keyboard off the shelf. There we go. That's actually the sale she's got going on right now. What did it do? Well, apparently it did. I don't know what it did. Technology hates me. I'm just saying. Technology hates me. I think it somehow put the link in there twice. I don't know how. So it's yeah, it's just the way it's gonna be. So for tonight, I thought I gave everybody an option in the one video about because the fatigue that's left over from being so sick with things that affected my lungs is a real thing. So I gave everybody the option about did we want to do a work with me and we try to set up lighting and work at this end or the other of the room. And or did we want to go through one of these vintage catalogs I have? And I'm so glad you guys kind of picked the catalog because with the way today has been, my back would just go, nope. So I have a Herrscners catalog. Now you can see it does have damage to this top corner. And this is older. It's older than me, guys. It's from 1963. Now I was so disappointed in this. It says 63-64. I thought it would be Christmas stuff. It's not. But then I thought about it and went, well, that makes sense because if it's a crafting catalog, then you're going to want to sell your Christmas stuff in the summer because you want people to have time to make the stuff. So it makes sense. You know, the brain when you're on antibiotics that long, the brain isn't always there. There is some stuff though. It's funny. It's like when I first picked it up, I looked at all that and I really kind of thought that was more like 1970s to me with all that wood furniture. You know how that kind of colonial stuff was coming in the 70s. But so I was kind of surprised that the catalog dates from 10 years before I thought. Now I'm also trying to figure out how the best way to do this is because I tried to figure out how to film on the laptop, but then have the phone be the guest so that I could then just hold it over it. But it didn't work. Apparently, my phone just tried to log me in on the same account as the laptop, and then when I tried to turn the phone off, it turned everything off, and you guys lost me. So we're gonna do our best here and see what's here. Now I'm gonna take you for a ride here. Now I may end up being kind of out of kilter on the page because I have to see on the laptop where the camera's at on the phone. But that means I see at the same time you guys do with the lag. Bear with me on that. Let's see what we can do. Actually, where's the camera on this? That corner. Well, that was kind of a fast flip. This is going to be a challenge. Now, am I lined up? How big's the lag? Okay, so this side doesn't really have a lot. This side's just a lot of, I guess you're supposed to know what it is unless it's, oh, so this is all the contact information for what's over here. Now, what's over here, honestly, Crazy Lamp Lady had one like this. See if it'll go closer. This is all in blue, but I swear it's the same pattern, but somebody did it all in yellows and browns. And she sold that for about $135. I was real surprised. So if you find any of these crewel work things, I mean, that's hot right now. Anything that's crewel work, which crewel work, if you don't know about crewel work, is long stitches. It's basically a long straight stitch. So you're making all these short little lines with the yarn. Oh, my finger's in the way. Sorry about that. Uh-oh. There. For a second there, I thought I turned the camera off. That would be bad. Where did I say the camera was? There's the camera. Okay. So that's the first one. I do kind of like these. These things that are on black. They can look really cool. They look freaky. All right, let's see if I can line it up here. Camera's there. I think I'm over the sock monkeys. Look at the eyes. The eyes have big old eyelashes and they look like they got lipstick on them. They just look a little creepy. I don't remember an octopus doll. That is an impressive bed doll. That is really impressive. Oh, remember the old felt stocking kits with the applique? Now, this was cool. These are trims. I've never seen this before. This is trim for your hat. Now, this one says it's a bangle hat pack where you make the hat with all the little dangly bits. I've never seen that before in a catalog. So that was new to me. And then here they've got their own, these are the frames for the hats. Now, I have ones like this and this covered in pheasant feathers from my grandmother. Oh, look, we get to a nice. Now this, oh, so look, it has a name. It has a name. I never knew it had an actual name. It's called the Ripple. Did anybody else know that this zigzaggy thing, I always called it the zigzag, that it had a name? I didn't even know it had a name. I do remember these pillows. My grandmother made these. And then this shows you all the rich color combinations. Yeah, I like about half of them. And of course, now you've got your authentic granny Afghans. My granny never, I don't think she ever made those. She did a lot of these ripple ones, though. Well, look, they even have it for the babies, which is kind of cool. I hope I'm not boring you guys. Oh, okay. So this is that bulky stuff. You could make some of this, you could make socks out of because it's worsted. So this one isn't all that luxurious. It's all just yarn. But do you want to know what's cool? So here's 2 ounces, 3-ply yarn, right? Each skein, 75 cents. The last time I bought a thingy of wool, first off, try finding 100% wool. But what I had to get, we needed it for scouts. It wasn't 100% wool, it was 100% polyester, and it cost me over $4. They were getting it for 75 cents. No, and they got good wool. No wonder they did so much. That and you didn't have all the distractions that we do now. Sweater packs? So what's a sweater pack? I mean, I would assume it's just the pattern and the... How is it a neat and quick? So the cardigan comes with a plastic bag containing the worsted yarn, enough to make sizes 12 to 16. Instructions. Yeah, okay. So basically, yeah, it's a kit that it's just the yarn and the instructions. Mohair. Even mohair was under $1. I would have expected that to be more. French Angora. Oh, look. You can make your own fashionable knit hat with Angora. I hope I'm not going too fast or too slow. I'm trying to do this, but the phone is also plugged in and the cord's just kind of short. Those are wood. I think I have a pair of those. Not attached to anything. How many of your grandmothers had these? The knitting stands where they just put this next to the chair, and then they could just keep the thing in there and you just see the string coming up while they sat and crocheted or knitted whatever they were working on. Three giant strips, braid them together, and use fishing line, sew into an oval. Oh, not a bad idea, Lou. Now we have needlepoint. I don't think I've seen a square. This has not yet come back into fashion. I have not seen a square pillow that's literally like blocked corners square. I haven't seen one of them in probably 40 years, and I'm 56. That quest I don't think has come quite back in yet. I love these old kits though, because there's the kit for the handbag, for a clutch bag. These are pin cushions, key rings. They had some cool stuff for kits. And then these are kits that come in pairs, birds, pansies, and roses. They were thinking ahead, I guess, to the bicentennial with the Continental Soldiers. And then you have the 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, winter. You know what's odd about that is it's not the same buildings. Usually they have like a similar building, some of the old ones, but not that one. I think there's some of these weird little skeins hiding in this house. What is this? This is tapestry wool. I think I may have inherited some of these because this label looks familiar, and I know they were coiled up like that. For all I know, right now, they are hiding in Paul's warehouse over at Philly Flipper, because a lot of the stuff from the Black Hole Challenge room, there was an awful lot of craft stuff in there. Some of it inherited, and it all just got packed in boxes just to get it out of the way. And then I got hurt because I feel so bad, because I feel like I'm like abusing the kindness that he's still got all that stuff. He says it's not a problem, but still, it's been there since, April and May. Hey, who remembers painting with these tubes? I love doing these things, and my grandmother had them, and you could use any iron-on transfer you could use with these tubes of paint because you colored it. It had a ball point, so it made it so you could color it. Oh, these things were so much fun. I still have one t-shirt I did, which I did in high school with leftover old tubes of paint, because it was the album cover for The Wiz, the Broadway musical The Wiz, and it has the lady on it, and then her hair is all these different colors. And if I find it, I'll have to show, I'll post a picture of it sometime. But I still have that. I don't know that I have anything else that I did those with. They were such a great way, because it was fabric paint, but it was very controlled. So it was such a great way to be able to add some color to stuff. Rug strips, rug canvas. So they really take you through some of the, oh, a rug needle. Is that what they look like? So they really take you through all the basics before they get you to the fun stuff. Aunt Lydia's heavy rug yarn. Lord, I remember that stuff. I do remember them. Trichem? Yeah, there were only Trichem and these are textile, and then Trichem. There was a third one. There were only 3 companies, I think, that made those paints back then anyway. I'm trying to like take a look at the chat while I'm here. Okay, now we get to some colored ones here. What do we got? Oh, we got some glare. How do I get rid of some glare? I do like the deer. Wouldn't that, you know who would love that? Angela Marksberry. With those little deer. Isn't that cute? The Black Panther looks really like muscular to the point of being a cartoon. He looks a little strange. This is nice. I like this one. So these are hook rugs. Okay, so why is one called hook rug and the other is called latch hook? There must be a difference. Because even in the pictures, is hook rug the one where it's little loops? They're not like a latch hook. A latch hook, it's all fuzzy and shag. But is hook rug where it's just the tight little loops and it's not shaggy? They're all really short and tight. The lambs are interesting. Their eyes look a little strange. Oh, now we get into the stuff I look for. I look for stone art. I love stone art stuff. Now, these are paint by number kits. Now, I'm used to seeing things where you see maybe 2 similar sizes, but these were actually kits that had a bigger picture and 2 little ones. That's not something I've come across out in the wild before. Have any of you come across a 3 set like that? I've never seen it where there's a bigger picture with 2 little ones before. Have any of you ever found that in the wild? I must have 5 of these oak frames in my house. My one grandmother did a lot of painting and she would order the frames. Now this is the page I like. So let's see how close I can get so you can see it. I'm afraid the bright light might be whiting out some of the colors. See if I could tilt it so the colors show a little better. So you have Boy Blue and Pinky, which is the girl in pink. And then you have, now I don't know what this means. This says quill and brush pictures. I mean, are you painting it with a feather? What is that? And then down here you have scroll art wall panel kits to paint. That's pretty cool. Let's see if we can find out what quill and brush. Ink and paints are combined to create professional results and highest order. Each kit consists of 2 pre-planned panels, pens, pen holder, Lyqua colors are as required. I guess that's the paint. India ink and instructions. So it's ink and paint instead of just a pen and ink. Well, that's different. Here's what I'm always looking for. Not the scroll art kits, the stone art. Somebody had these in a video recently in the background, and I don't know who. I can't remember who it was I saw. I think they only had one. I don't think they had both. But I'm not a fan of those two. But I still have a Siamese cat stone art that my sister made. I have an Oriental pear that looks like Thailand that my grandmother made. There's a dog and an owl from when I was a kid. And they all used to hang in the playroom. So I would like to get them up to my office when we get the Black Hole Challenge room to an office. But I'm looking for these two. I would love to have these two. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out for them now that I know they exist. They look pretty cool. Have any of you not heard of stone art? Stone art is literally crushed colored stone, usually dyed. It's usually gravel, really fine gravel, just crushed to this and dyed to the color they want, or paint coated with paint. And you would have cording. So all these little black lines you see how every one of them, I don't know how close I can get and have it focus, but you can see a black line on the outside edge of everything. Sometimes it would be gold, but all of that edging is cording. And then you would put once the cording was glued down on the line and dries, then you would just coat inside. Like you would coat all this with glue inside and then pour that color on top of the glue. You had to meticulously do these one color at a time. And then, of course, some of it's going to go where you don't want it. So you better have some good little needle nose, not pliers, tweezers, because you're going to be picking out the stones out of the colors where you don't want them. But that's why you glue one at a time. Yeah, I think the diamond painting is probably a little easier because I think the diamond paintings, are it's already preset one little dot at a time. Steph wants to know, can you turn it face up? Which thing do you want to turn face up? I don't really have a way. Not sure how well to do this. We had problems the last time I tried putting something big in front of my phone with the phone sitting up. Simply because, why did it go sideways? Oh no. Is that better? When did it do that? But we're upside down. Wait a minute. Now we're upside down. How about that? Oh my goodness. I don't know. Okay, wait a second. All right. Let me give you this one back so you don't have to like crane your heads. Sorry, I still can't laugh real hard. Okay, so see, there you go. Now you can get a good view. Oh wait, my finger's in the way. I don't know where the hell the camera is now.
I'm afraid to look. Where's the camera? Not at that end. Where's the camera? Oh, there we go. Wait, I gotta fix this now. Come on, you little bugger. I had to figure out where the camera was. See, you guys think I'm joking when I say I'm technology challenged. I am not joking. I am seriously technology challenged. Now, these were all after that fun. Oh, Doug, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. Yeah, there were clowns on there. It's hard to try to look at this and then look up at the laptop so I can see the chat. I'm doing what I can. These were all wonderful coverlets, but they were pre-printed and then you had to embroider all of this. But I do wonder, I mean, look at all the lines on this. And with straight lines, I wonder if were any of these chenille and then had an opening for? Nope. You could applique and quilting pattern stamped on 80 square white percale. That's the chrysanthemum one. So yeah, these were all flat. That's a lot of work. I think that'd be more of a mess than trying to do a tablecloth. That's a lot. They must look really impressive when they're done. Boy, is that a lot of work. What do they got over here? Now, see, here we go with quilt frames. What are these? Oh, wow, look. Pre-made percale florals. So they're already made. They must have been machine edged. I see that, Steph. Yes, it is like a ride at the fair. Oh, look at the little kitten. The little kitty. These are the kitty quilt blocks. 98 cents and you could get them. Oh, you'd get two. Oh, but what a combination. Porky Pig and Kitten, Bear and Rabbit, Bird and Turtle, and then Circus Time. Glad they're not showing that one. It might upset Doug. He might run screaming from the room. It's like those rides at the fair that suddenly like twist around and jerk like the other direction. There used to be one called Whiplash, which I always thought was really cool as a kid, but I wouldn't want to be on that now. Now here's all the baby stuff. What in tarnation did they do to her? She has feet. She has a head. What's up with those hands? What is she? She's number 2. Okay. Trying to get my fingers out of the way. So, look like a doll apron. She's an apron. Stamped for embroidery for the girls to add glamour to milady's looks. That makes no sense whatsoever. So apparently she wraps her arms around you, which means when you put her on, her head's gonna flop over and look like you have a flattened dead doll hanging off your waist. Oh, that's just a bad visual. I do like these. These are cool. These are bibs, but they're made really well. I mean, they really do look like the dog and the rabbit and the bunny and the little piggy, and they're bibs. They're made with huck. Well, huck was a type of toweling, cotton huck. I remember that stuff. It's fairly thick. I mean, it'd be a good thing to use for a bib. Do you remember the burp me towels? I know when my friends started having kids, they thought I was crazy when I'm like, no, you want cloth diapers because you want something to be the burp me towel. No, honey, the arms were not measuring tape. Sleepy time nightgowns, the layette set. Oh wow, that's cool. Look at, do you like giraffes? You have a watch me grow, and made for mom to embroider while you're taking your nap. Now we get to some fun ones. I love these. I've never seen them other than at my grandmother's house. Puff pillows. Okay. So they're, how do I explain puff pillows? Because this picture doesn't do them justice. So pillows, this is woven. It's like a tube. And so there's a little bit of stuffing in the tube, and then the tube is all woven back and forth, and then you sew the ends together. They must be a real bear to make because you've got to weave all that stuff together, but they do look really cool. Now, I don't know how you would get the shape. There had to be something in the kit because I remember there being this square one at Nanny's and this one at Nanny's. And she only ever had the two, so I guess she ordered the kits and that was enough. She wasn't going to do anymore. Crisp gingham aprons for that fresh look. Neat pattern on that one. You know, if you did this in green gingham and did that flower in red, maybe these little things in gold, you'd have a Christmas apron if you did it the green gingham. But don't know where to get your gingham? Don't worry about it because they have gay gingham by the yard. Such pretty happy rib gingham. And they've got a nice green that you can make that one out. They have their they have it. Hey, vintage conversation. Hello. Now these just say linen cloths, but these are basically tablecloths. I have a couple of old linen tablecloths that are hand embroidered. One of them has the pattern on it for the blue willow pattern because my great grandmother's dishes were from Staffordshire, England, and are in the blue willow pattern. And somebody at some point made a very large dining room tablecloth for it with the pattern around it. This is kind of cool. Sheaves of wheat. Be kind of nice for in the fall. It'd be different than having just fall leaves. Wait, let me try to get it to where you can see it. Maybe that's better. Yeah, the gay gingham. Now, I've come across some of these here where they, oh, my arm is getting tired. Let's shift over. Let me see if I can get some of the glare off the page. For that round one, it's a linen ensemble for cut work. And when you get these, you have to actually do the cutting. They don't say that in here. It just says linen ensemble for cut work. And they have this, they don't tell you that this is all finished, but you actually have to snip these little holes out. All these little spots that are supposed to be open, because I have a couple where they hadn't cut them out. Cut work is nice, but to do it from hand by yourself takes a lot of time to get that edging that you need to have, that overstitch. I did it once. I did my due diligence by my aunt that was teaching me embroidery, and I did it once. And I hated it so much, and obviously hated it so much, Aunt Harriet never made me do it again. And I was so thankful. It's pretty. I like it. It looks good. But to make it from scratch, not ever, ever again. Yeah, see, right, Iris? It is a pain. Want more funky pillows? Okay, so the other grandmother had one of these in red, which was here for a long time. Probably by now was worn out and is gone. Look, you can get glistening slipper satin Wonder Puff pillows. So all four of these are the oh so wonderful slipper satin. And number 11, this one over here is also slipper satin in these wonderful bright colors. And apparently number 5 and number 6, you could get in corduroy or in slipper satin. My grandmother, my dad's mother, Granny had one of these in the red corduroy. But this is too wild. What is this sucker? Right? Your grandmother had them too, Doug? I honestly wouldn't mind, like the red corduroy ones. The only thing that was a problem is that this part here is a big covered button. And she had an extra big one. I don't know why, but her kit had one that was like extra big. Like way bigger than a silver dollar kind of big. It was just huge, and the thing was hard. It's always banging your head on it. Now this is number 9, Herrscner's newest creation. Oh, they're so proud of themselves for this. Let's see if I get the picture lined up before I tell you about it. You're going to have to hang on there because you have that delay. There we go. So the petals are red. The edging is purple. It looks like there's an underleaf of purple. And there's little purple there and then a light orange puff in the middle. Herrscner's newest creation, a petal pillow. Oh, it's made of felt. Felt petals of purple and red and an orange wool pom-pom in the center to make this exotic flower. Now, they say that thing looks like it's going to be big, but it's not. It says a 9-inch round purple felt pillow in the back is the foundation for attaching the flower. So you make a basic round pillow, and then that flower attaches over the top. I may have to take a photograph of that. I want to try that. Can't be that hard to make. Since all this just sits on top of the pillow, you just have to figure out the gradation of the petals. And you could tell, you could see it, the picture. I don't know if you guys can see it, but these are pinched in just a little bit right here and where they attach so that they have this little bit of a curve to them. That wouldn't be hard to do. Shoot, I could do that hand sewing. Oh, and if you like the Wonder Puff pillows, you can have a Wonder Puff handbag of slipper satin. You can have those as well. They come in. Come on, glare, stop. There we go. So what do they come in? They come in white, black, red, and turquoise. Slipper satin. Slipper satin must be that thicker, really, I mean, it was a heavier weight. Well, let me go back up a little bit. It looks like I missed the. There we go. There's the slipper satin. And now down here, these are velveteen. I've never seen these before. Mind you, I've never seen those purses either. These almost haven't, except for the colors they chose. The design on them almost has like an arts and crafts style images to them, especially this one. This one is really kind of like the arts and crafts movement. It's just the colors they've chosen wouldn't quite fit that. And they call this one Victorian. This one is called Gaiety, Heritage, and Cameo. What on that is a, oh, I guess because it's white on top of a darker color, that's why it's Cameo. And the materials, so they are rich velveteen paired with smart, durable corduroy. You were 70s before the 70s, please. Remember in the 70s, corduroy was everything? To make and cherish, you can have a Wonder Puff bedspread or one for the baby crib or carriage. Oh my. They really invested a lot this year in 1963 going into 1964. They invested a lot in this Wonder Puff slipper satin stuff. Did they have a corner in the market for that kind of fabric? Now this is punch work. That's one I never had an opportunity to learn. I don't really know much about that. But you have all these little pillow top kits. So they only give you the top and all the stuff you need. And then if you need extra stuff, they've got it. That's one thing I really have to admit that I always have liked. They still do it this way. Like you could buy the foams you may need or have kapok filled foam. Well, kapok's not. Kapok is from a tree, if I remember right. Kapok in original pillow filler and is moth and vermin proof. Wow. First I've ever heard of that. I know kapok, though, was, I think, from a tree, and that used to be what was in a lot of pillows and stuffed toys. And but what I was saying about Herrscners is that with Herrscners, if they offer you kits like this, and they still do, they are still in existence. They have the layout of the catalog like this in that you will have all the supplies you need with extra supplies with the pages that have the kits themselves, which I always thought was nice. Now, these are all over design bedroom coordinates. So you're looking at pillowcases and scarves that match. Now, I do like the peacock, but I can't tell which one. Okay, Fair Lady is the pillow. It just says case. And then it says matching scarf. But I'm looking at the peacocks down here. And I think the peacock, the one, see if I slide something under here to get the glare out. So I think this long one is most likely the pillowcase. And then this is the scarf, where it's only one. And then there's both of them on the pillowcase. I'm sorry, I'm a little out of kilter. Let's see if I get it back up, if I got it up far enough. There we go. That's what I was talking about, is that how long this one is and it shows a bird there and a bird there and a vase in the middle. And I kind of think this might be what is for the pillowcase. And then the individual one is what's on the what they call the matching scarf. I just think it's facing the, it just seems odd because on the scarves, the picture is always this way, not this way. So I'm confused because if this is the pillowcase, then this is over the entire top of the pillowcase. Seems a little weird. I hope I'm not boring all 11 of you that are here. These are pretty cool, though. I mean, they had such great patterns. And I get kind of jealous of some of y'all that manage to find old linens like this and pick them up, because I never see these in my area, except what I inherited from my aunts. Or ones I've bought because I like them on my bed, but I won't let the boys use them. Nope, not letting them. My brother and my son are a mess. They are not. They both eat in bed. You are not messing up my vintage linens. Not seen these before. Inspired religious designs. I can honestly say I've never come across those. But yeah, I'm sure I still have some stamped, pre-designed stamped cases for pillowcases around. Ugh, hands getting tired here. I think I have something similar to that. I don't think the 3 kittens are in an upside down umbrella. I think I have 3 kittens in a teacup. These are always fun when you find the ladies and they have all this. Have you ever found the ones where they have the skirt and all this is all thread crocheted skirt and they look so cool, and I'm off kilter again? Now here, look, you can save 30 cents on the pair. I like how they call them tubing cases. I don't know why. I guess that's, I don't know. I mean, I never would have thought of calling them a tubing case. To me, they're just, pillowcase. Hem stitched and scarves to match. Some of these I don't know what they mean, like hem stitch effects. I guess that means it comes with this little edging already sewn onto it so that you don't have to do it. They are neat patterns. And anybody that's a good enough artist, you'd be able to, if you could draw, you could freehand some of these and copy them out yourself to make them. I've never been that good of a drawer. Oh yeah, the names of things. The names of things is definitely different. Okay, so like I know about huck towels. And huck toweling, it's a very loose weave and you can end up with like fringe on the ends because of it being a loose weave. But I never knew huck a weave kit. I mean, were you expected to like do this at home and just weave yourself? Weave the material yourself? I'm confused. I'm so confused. I don't know what this is for. I've seen towels. And you would do little stitchings and you could see the needle here. They've pulled a thread to make this little open area. I've seen that, and I've seen it as towels. And here you could buy it by the yard. But when you come down to here, they're talking about these books. And this picture, that's a dress. Or else an apron. They got all kinds of stuff in here. I only ever knew it as Huck toweling. I didn't know you could do like that. Look, you can even get the expensive stuff, which was $1.69 a yard. Oh heavens. Irish linen Huck. Do they even make that anymore? I think you'd have a hard time. Yeah, Lou, I have iron-on patterns for embroidery stuff that go back to my grandmother. Because old Workbook magazine and a lot of other magazines used to have them in there. But also they would buy them, you know, you could buy whole sets. There's one that's still in business. Aunt Lydia might be the name. That you can still buy the patterns, and it's a whole envelope, bright yellow envelope. I have tons of them. So when I get all that stuff back from Paul, there's going to be one massive craft sale. Because I have more of those transfers than I am ever going to use in my lifetime. Machine embroidery thread. Well, wait a minute. What is that? This little thing. Machine darning kit. A simple combination of needle spring embroidery hoop. But the needle has this weird spring thing on it. I've seen one of them in a box somewhere. Now, did it make it to this house, though? Okay. So now I've identified something that I might actually have here somewhere. So it's a machine darning kit. I thought darning was something you did to socks and did by hand. Oh, I love looking through old work basket magazines, but it depends on what they have, because a lot of times they had crocheting and knitting, and I didn't know enough of how to do any of that. Now, see, here's the fun part of when you inherit or find vintage embroidery floss. And some of these colors, now this is for DMC, who still makes cross stitch thread, still makes embroidery thread. Oh, thanks, Lou. Because Huck is something that is so far back in my memory, I probably wasn't even in my teens. So you're testing my brain here to remember. And I didn't really understand what it was. I just knew that like they all had towels of it. But you have these embroidery thread, DMC still around, and what they call dark yellow, dark orange, pale gold, deep coral. So what they had for those colors then may not match to what they have now, as I have found out. Like, what on earth is turkey red? I don't know what that one's going to be. But I have some really old DMCs, and this is from 1963, and I know I have skeins of DMC embroidery floss with that label. That label is black paper with gold printing. I know that label. And they had, at that point, 151 colors. Now they probably have 300 or more colors. I used to work at Joann Fabrics. This is cool, though. You could just buy a box of it. If you needed it just as an assortment to get you started, or you can buy over here, it tells you can buy any 3 or a full box. So you can get them. And there's, does it say how many's in a box? No, doesn't say, but you could buy each color by the box. You had a lot of stuff. $350 or so colors now. Oh yeah, I'm sure they're up over that now. I'm sure. Okay, I gotta see if I can get close up. This is gonna be a challenge. So, okay, we have these really pretty aprons. I like the black one with the white. That's nice. That's different. And you have linen flush box covers. I don't know what kind of box that would be for because it's not straight across. But then you come over here and there's a home barber apron. Let's see if we get it close up here. Shave and a haircut, 2 bits. And this guy has no hair. Oh my goodness. So they have fun with a novelty barber apron made of yellow cotton art cloth with contrasting red binding, stamped barbershop quartet design for easy embroidery. But they also have one that's a cobbler apron. They don't show that one, do they? Oh, okay. So this is a cobbler apron. Now, when I think of cobbler, I think of somebody that repairs shoes. But this is the cobbler apron, and these are big pockets. That's really big pockets. And then, of course, there's linen or cotton scarves to embroider for on your end tables. Remember end tables? Do you guys remember having end tables that you had at the either end of your couch? You'd have matching end tables. There'd be one at either end of the couch. I want one of these, and I've not found one yet. Toaster and mixer covers. That is not covering my mixer. But I want a toaster cover, and I've yet to find one. So I think that would be cool to have. And they used to have, in the 70s, they started making ones that were plastic, kind of. And they were kind of not so much fun as these embroidered ones. Oh, okay. So cover your toaster and mixer. There's no way that's supposed to cover your mixer. My mother had an old Sunbeam. There was no way that wide, and there's no way that was covering it. These are little hand towels, country kitchen towels. Who fired buckshot through those chickens? Can you see these? Look at how they look like they got all these holes in them. They look like somebody fired some buckshot through them. That just doesn't look right. Days of the week kitchen towels. My great aunts had days of the week kitchen towels. Early American designs. Wall panels for embroidery. You have the 2 Japanese ladies, which are 2 different periods of Japanese kimono. But they wouldn't have known that. You have a golden pheasant down here. You have cross-stitch silhouettes. These are more wall panels. They have a wooden dowel through the top and the bottom. Oh. And then, of course, there's your standard sampler. Lord's Prayer, send thy blessings for the house. Kitchen one, about the cozy kitchen. A perpetual calendar. Oh, these are gorgeous. The bedspreads. Big old peacock. Peacocks were big back then. They're still big. Here you go. Here's a whole rooster set. This thing has what pattern do I want on my toaster for a toaster cover? Honestly, I would love to have something that, in an ideal world, I'd have something that actually kind of had like those atomic starbursts on it, simply because we want to make the kitchen a Doctor Who themed kitchen. My son actually bought me some plates that are Doctor Who. So a cover like that would be really pretty cool if it had like those 1960s mid-century modern atomic stars on them. Oh, you saw Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, right? That one is really funny and really good. But the same person who wrote that one wrote Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and I don't think that one worked as well as a movie. But the Pride and Prejudice and Zombies was so funny. If you want another one, look up Dead Snow. It's a foreign flick, so you'll have to read the subtitles, but it's zombies, yes, but the kids in it who are trapped in the cabin, they're real people. They are what you and I would do if we were trapped in the cabin. Like throw the Molotov cocktail at the wall instead of through the window. It's all the stuff normal people would do and have happen to them if that kind of thing happened. Dead Snow. Look that one up. All right. Have a good night, Linda. Lou, my toaster is a 2-slice because it had to be small enough to fit on top of the microwave, so we couldn't do a 4-slicer. Linen, cloths, scarves, mats. Oh, these are applique ones. That's different. This is kind of, I don't like roosters, but I do think it's neat that they included in this set, they've actually included the brain is going, pot holders. And now you're getting back into the basics. You've got your mercerized crochet cotton, metal weaving loom. I have a metal weaving loom. I have the ones for me. Remember those loops that you'd make the pot holders with? Now the hard part's finding the loops that are all cotton, because the loops that are nylon will melt to your fingers. And yes, I know that from experience. I will never do that again. But I have the metal frame for those that was my mother's. Now, my mom was born in 1929. Does that tell you how old that thing is? Hem-stitched embroidered motifs to join with crochet. Oh, look, I have a couple of these somewhere. Tatting shuttles. I have no clue what to do with them. Not a clue. But I've got them. Because all that little stuff, starting when I was 10, when the first grandfather died, or when, the old elders were moving house, I got all the little stuff that nobody else wanted because I was a kid. And so I have amber beads, glass beads, stuff for crocheting and appliques and all kinds of cool stuff. Anthropomorphic. You got the the saucer, the teacup, and the teapot. And they're iron-on appliques. That's kind of cool. I actually have to find, I have some iron-on patches because my favorite jeans they just came out of the wash with a hole in them. Here we go. Hot iron transfer patterns. These are not like the transfer patterns you think of. These suckers are fully illustrated in color. So this is more like a decal that you could iron on. Oh, Marilyn, your mom was born in 29 also? So she was a little kid when Snow White came out. She would have been a little kid too when Wizard of Oz came out. Wizard of Oz, Gone with the Wind, 1939. They were still kids then. My mom passed away in May. It'll be 15 years that she's been gone. Felt by the yard. I don't know if Joanne Fabrics still does that, getting felt by the yard. You had limited colors you could get, though, too, for that. Satin ribbons, always a good thing. I wish they still had these. This you can still find. You know, bags of it, not so easy to find, but you can still find them, either in places online or catalogs like Herrscners. It's sequins and spangles. It's just a general pack. This says 2,000 pieces. You're not getting it for 79 cents now, but back then you could. But these are festive felt appliques, and they're all different shapes for different holiday motifs. And those could be cool and could come in handy, but you can't find them. I've never seen those. I spent 6 years working for Joanne Fabrics in the early 90s and never saw anything like those felt applique pieces. That would be so cool. Ready-made, natural-looking, low prices. Realistic birds. Well, I've never seen a gray squirrel with a racing stripe down his nose. That pheasant looks a little questionable to me. What is he looking at? A blue jay and a cardinal. We're almost done. We're in the last few pages. Yeah, we used to sell felt by the yard, but it usually was only white, Christmas green, red. You could special order it back in the 90s. You could special order felt colors at Joanne Fabrics, but you had to ask. Now, I don't know if they do. I don't know how much special ordering of fabrics they let you do. But I'm near Philadelphia. There used to be a ton of places around this area where my mother used to be able to go and buy fabric wholesale. Check this out. It's a miniature spray of fruits and vegetables. Now this thing, how big is this? Am I lined up for you to see this? I mean, what would you do with that? Stick it on a hat, maybe? Okay, so how big? Come on, give me. Oh, this is bigger than I thought. I thought it was like miniature. This is 3 inches wide and 12 inches long. That means this thing's like this wide and as long as this page. That's big. That's not going on your hat. Beautiful, colorful, true to life. Honey, if that's true to life, I'm not seeing these. I'm not seeing strawberries in there. Maybe that's a peach. This looks like a cucumber. What's that supposed to be? But look what's below it. Look what's below it. Now you know. Lady doll head planters with flowers. They were, do you see this price? 99.5 cents each, as low as. So you know there's a catch. But aren't they cool looking? I had one similar to this. Remember, her hand was up, but the face was very similar, the big eyelashes sticking out, and I sold it. The only one I had been my grandmother's. I'm glad it went to a new home. But it's interesting to see the different colors they come in, and that they actually came with little flowers. Okay, so attractively designed, of fine quality ceramic with colors fired in for beauty and permanence. Miniature earrings and necklace are the real thing. A colorful, oh, you're going to love this. A colorful petite bouquet of violets of washable polyethylene is included. Am I mistaken, or does that just mean a fancy word for plastic? And I have to admit, I like those 1960s plastic flowers. They have a certain look, they have a certain color palette. I kind of like them, and they're so easy to clean. You just swish them in the sink once a year, get any dust off of them. I'm looking for more of those plastic flowers. So these little ladies are, oh my God, they're tiny. These stunning little 3 3/4 inch lady doll heads, singly or in pairs, they add color and feminine charm to any end table, shelf, or windowsill. Use them to pot your own small plants or displaying real or artificial cut flowers. Now, one with flowers is $1.19, but you save if you buy a pair at $1.99, which is where they get that 99.5 cents. I never ever would have expected to find these in a craft catalog. Just never ever would have expected that. I think I just sold a few of these. Look it down below. These are for boxes of 12-inch long chenille sticks. And they are, how do you explain that? They call it knotty chenille, but it tapers in and then puffs back out. I didn't have boxes of them. I only had a few random ones, and I sold them. Pretty sure I sold them in a batch when I did the craft supply sale. And then look, they have it as a long 18-yard hank you could get. Wow. All you people doing assemblages would just die to find that stuff now, wouldn't you? Hey, who remembers getting honeycomb sheets to make candles with? You get the flat sheets, you roll the wick up in the middle. These look kind of cool with all the spiral edgings they did. There's only one problem when you make candles like that from these honeycomb things, is they burn wicked fast. Faster than the wick can actually usually compensate for. So if you ever have these honeycomb candles and you think you want to burn them, or you find one already burnt and you want to just go ahead and use it, put it in the freezer first. It'll last longer. Which is true of any candle, really. Hey, remember that fruit spray? Look, you can get individual little clusters of those suckers. They look so tiny on the page, but we know the truth, don't we? If the big thing is 12 inches long, then these suckers, each one of those little clumps must be the size of a ping pong ball. Not PC to call them pipe cleaners? Well, I saw some that I just recently found that there's no way you're not going to call them pipe cleaners. Because while they mostly look like a chenille stem or whatever you want to call them, they have little pieces of copper wire sticking out. Just really scrub the inside of that pipe. And they hurt. I didn't realize they were in there, and I grabbed it, and one of them actually broke through the skin and caused my finger to bleed. So yeah, there are some things that I'm still going to call pipe cleaners because they hurt. They have little wires sticking out. Okay, now you're into the 60s that I know. Do you remember these tile kits? You can still find these once in a while where they made the little, and we're back to having such glare. Next time I know, well, next time I'll hopefully have a better way to do this. That have the little tile kits, and it's all the little tiny squares. Now you can still find these already made in, you know, in their little tray. But down here, look, they've got the trays. I never realized they were kits. I assumed they were bought at the store. I didn't know you could buy them as a kit. That explains a lot, because back in the day, before eBay, we were selling big sheets of this stuff from my grandmother's house. We were selling it at yard sales because, you know, eBay didn't exist back then. And I cry when I think of all of the salt and pepper shakers. There was a fortune in turn of the century on down to probably the 1970s salt and pepper shakers that just got sold for $5 a pair at yard sales because eBay didn't exist. This is kind of neat. The little 2-tier candy dish. And then you can get your weaving done. Craft sticks by the box. I had a lot of fun messing with craft sticks. That was something. My mom would just like hand you a thing of glue and a box of those sticks and go to town. So you're back. These are all different books that you could get. Oil painting kits are on here. Foam kits. Art foam tank cover kit. So it must be a cover for your fish tank. Cat litter basket kit. I don't even want to know. Notice they don't show any of these. Molded plastic baskets you can have. Oh, these are fun. Look at the color on these. Oh, my arm is giving out. Kits complete with colorful art foam. Oh, I know that foam. It's really 1/8 of an inch thick. It's really thin, and then it dries out and just gets so brittle it just falls apart when you touch it. You're never going to find one of these still together, unfortunately. But man, these would have looked really cool. Oh man, those look awesome. But I know that foam. It did not last. It just did not last. So all of that was made with that thin foam. Now you have, what do we have? We have the Singer Library, Sewing, Dressmaking Course, and Home Decoration book. And it's all made so that you have loose leaf editions. Knitwit. What is a knitwit? Well, I know several knitwits. Newest, most fascinating handicraft can be mastered in minutes. So it's some kind of way to knit something. Fascinating hobby for all ages from 8 to 80 can be mastered in minutes without knowledge of crocheting or knitting. Knitwit makes continuous streams of rosettes from any weight, yarn, cotton, or straw. Seriously? Straw? How are you hooking that together on the ends? Make sweaters, animals, placemats, Afghans. I don't know about that. Now, because that doesn't look anything like the spinning wheel I have in the attic. My sister had one and then she took it back. And so I saw one in the original box at a yard sale, so I snagged it. And there's your ordering stuff. But the knitting thing I have is this fake toy spinning wheel, and it makes a tube because there's a hole in the center on the one I have, and then it just comes straight down. You spin the wheel. It does all the knitting itself. I don't think you have to do too much to it. I think you might have to take a crochet hook and loop some stuff over, maybe. I haven't pulled it out in years. It's one of the things tucked in the attic. And the back cover is more Afghans to make. And honestly, I mean, look at the color choices here. The brown with the yellow. They were really, there's a couple things in here that they were really into the 70s before their time. This is from 63. And some of the colonial stuff we already saw, and all those browns and yellows and oranges, they were really hitting the mark a whole decade ahead of time. But that's the end. I hope you had fun in spite of the hiccups. And unfortunately, like I said, it is missing a bit of the front corner. But I'll have this in next week's sale if anybody wants to have it to do things with. Now hang on for the ride here because I'm about to flip you over. There we go. Hopefully that didn't mess you guys up too much. So that wasn't a total mess. It was shaky. It was a little off. It was hard to get it to focus. But it was, it's a start. It's a start. I've been gone for so long that I know the algorithm for YouTube is going to be a total mess. And my night owls, I mean, some of my night owls I have seen here. Others, I never see them before. I never even see them in anybody else's sale before 9 or 9:30 at night. So, they can't help it, especially if they're on the West Coast. So if you're looking for something else to go check out in the next few minutes, I don't know if Lisa from Flippin' Crazy is still on, but by all means, stop over. If you like to do, because right now she's been doing a bunch of pop-up sales of random jewelry parts. Like she'll have a batch of one-off earrings or pins, or now I picked up 2 vintage clasps for necklaces. These aren't your typical small little run-of-the-mill, easy-to-find replacement clasps. These are the kind that have the tab you have to pinch down, and the tab slides into the box. But the box was that big. It was like 1 inch long and half an inch high. And it would hold 3 strands. It had the little loops on each side to hold 3 strands. I have been looking for an old clasp like that for a long time because I ended up inheriting a lot of the broken jewelry. But I know how to fix it. But to find clasps like that, you can't always find them. So I have some jewelry that I've been sitting on since I was like, 10, 12 years old. So I was so happy to pick it up for bargain prices too. I mean, super bargain prices. So you can always check out Flippin' Crazy and have some fun with her. I did let Lisa is a sweetheart, and I did let her know I would promote her channel for her tonight because she's still going on. Because she's also had some cat health issues. One of her cats has had to be in the emergency hospital for a while, and he's not been doing great. But there's more medical bills for the cat coming up, and I know that feeling because I'm still trying. Bless you all for those who have followed the links where I've Buy Cam's Folly, where I had Buy Me a Tea, and all proceeds of that was going to help the outdoor cats. Morgan is inside. They are still working on adjusting.
but she has a room to be isolated in. So I will have to get her fixed. She got triggered into her very first heat. She had to come in right then because a male was following her around the yard, bugging her. And I went, nope, we're not having a kitten with kittens. No, no, no. So I snagged her right away. But I have to get her in and get her fixed. And the one place that does it, that I can get into, that does it for low income people, that does the spaying and neutering, it's $125. So that's still better than a regular vet. That's still less than what a regular vet. So that'll be what I'm saving all that up for. But she's in. Shadow is not. And Rory has just proven that she is never coming in my house. I can't. Hello, doctor. She decided to attack Shadow. Now, I knew she and the doctor had issues, but Shadow came up to eat on the porch, and she literally launched herself at him with such force that they just went sideways right off the edge of the porch and both dropped to the ground. And she still didn't lose her hold on him. And she was trying to hurt him. And I'm not having that. I'm not. She can't tolerate other cats at all. Even the doctor's doing better than that. So, and I know she's gone after the doctor. So, no, I'm going to see again if I can get Forgotten Cats to come pick them up before we get too much further into this cold weather, and see what can be done to get them fixed. Shadow, I would love to have in here. The doctor likes Shadow. They'll lay on the porch together. She has no problems with him. I think because we had Gandalf in the house, which was another stray that I had taken care of before I ended up getting hurt, but he passed away last March. So Iris, go have fun over at Lisa's. So that's one of my goals. I have a lot of goals for 2022. A lot of them. One of them is to not let my current state of health stop me. I'm working on pain management things, and we're going to get back to having the black hole challenges again, so we can get back to that room, so I can get a setup where I have the space to film. I have things out on shelves so I can see what I've got, and then I'll actually have the packing room back so that I don't have stuff down here, stuff on the second floor. Packing supplies are all on the third floor, because that's just been a mess. So I hope you guys had fun and enjoyed it, and that it wasn't too out of whack for all of you because of the way I had to do it. I'll get it figured out to where I can have, because I really wanted to try to have that more steady, where I had the laptop filming me and then had the phone be a guest, and that didn't work out today. If any of you saw that test one, that was a mess. That was just a mess. But I know now, thanks to Steph, I know now what I did wrong. You actually have to have a second StreamYard account, which I didn't have. And so it tried to default and log in under the same name, under the same account, which is why all I got was the black circle off the phone and nothing, and only had the laptop viewing. So now that I know what's wrong, I'll do what I have to do to try to get that set up for the next time, because I do have other catalogs. Usually I was planning to film them, because then I can see what I'm filming, and you have 4 cameras on the back of a phone. I can get better close-ups where they aren't so blurry. So the other ones and I know the Sears catalog, this baby, I have no choice but to do this monster as a series. It's in poor condition, but It's a Sears catalog. It's the Wish Book, the Christmas Wish Book from 1980. Snagged it at a yard sale. They were going to throw it in the trash. I pulled it out and went, "You sure? How much you want for it?" She said $1. But the covers are coming off. So I don't think you really want that. I handed her $1 before she could say anything else. So that'll be a whole series. And I'll tell you, 1980, that's walking through my childhood right there. That's walking through my childhood. Because in 1980, 75, I would have been 15. So that'll be one that'll be a series of videos for you guys to watch. So have fun, have a good night. Hey, book, you just got here and I'm logging off. So if you guys want to go catch some of Lisa's jewelry sale tonight, it's repurposing stuff. It's all the little stuff. And then I believe Melanie will be having her sale at 10 o'clock tonight. And I saw an Instagram post, Trusty Huckster, Patrick will be on at 11. So we've got another, I think, well, we're to the 20th of January. So we don't quite have a whole month yet before Patrick and I flip back to him being at 8 o'clock and then me being back with my night owls. So we've got at least another 4 weeks of me being at the earlier time and him being at the later. So I'll see you guys next week. And I hope to, by Monday or Tuesday, have a video up. Oh, you had your booster book? Good for you. I finally had my second, which is another reason I've had a lot of fatigue problems the last few days. Because I finally was able to get my second, which technically was my third because it had been it had been 9 months since the first shot. So they just said start over again. So I did. And other than when I had the shot, I had my tongue and my throat both swelled up. So I had to have Benadryl right away. But other than that, and needing to sleep, bless you up there, bless you. That was the only side effect I had, was the fatigue, which I already was experiencing fatigue from the lung and the bacterial infection in the lungs, from the flu and then from having that. So it was basically nothing was different. So have a good night, guys, and I'll see you in the chats tonight. I've got a lot of stuff I still need to work on, and I drank a Monster energy drink, so I'll be awake for another 2 hours or so, or 3, maybe 4. We'll see, because I didn't get the nap. So good night, and I'll see you in the chats. And if you have the chance, be kind to one another, all right? Bye.